As a girl walked home from school, a van crept behind her, unnoticed. In a matter of seconds, it pulled alongside her. The door slammed, and as the van screeched away, she was left lying unconscious inside, seemingly vanished from the face of the earth. For 11 years, her disappearance remained a frustrating mystery, until the day she suddenly reappeared, stumbling into the street with the weary, shadowed eyes of someone who had been lost for years. Concerned citizens quickly called an ambulance. Gemma, the mother, heard that her daughter had returned, with tears in her eyes. She told her husband and aunts. Sam and his family rushed to the hospital. The girl on the hospital bed was pale, but when Sam saw the pattern on her arm, he confirmed that it was his daughter. Alice finally fell asleep from exhaustion. The next day, the girl recounted the details of her kidnapping. The father could no longer bear to listen and left the room, struggling to control his emotions. The investigating officer did not stop to ask questions, because as Alice was being loaded into the ambulance, she kept repeating one name: Sophie. Sophie was the victim of another missing persons case. Sophie had also been abducted by a yellow van, therefore they needed to act quickly to find clues. Perhaps the girl Sophie still had a chance of survival. At this point, Alice looked distressed. She did indeed know Sophie, since Sophie was too stubborn to comply. The kidnappers treated her very badly. When Alice escaped, she wanted to take her with her, but she was too weak to walk. The couple thought nothing worse could happen. But reality always defies expectations. A nurse informed them of the test result. Alice had stretch marks, which meant she had given birth before. The police launched a large-scale search in the forest, based on Alice's escape route, but ultimately found nothing. Alice eventually returned home. Gemma comforted her daughter and urged her to rest early. After her parents left, she fidgeted with her fingers, and a strange smile appeared on her face. She returned to her room and looked at the children's photos. A slow, disquieting feeling began to dawn on her. The girl in the picture seemed like a stranger. She voiced her unease to her husband, who brushed it off, attributing it to the profound trauma she had endured. At that very moment, the doorbell interrupted them. It was Julian, the detective in charge of another kidnapping case. Upon learning that Alice and Sophie had been in prison together, he had come from France to Germany to investigate the case. Alice told Julian she had escaped from the basement. She had also considered taking Sophie with her. But Sophie had been so tortured that she had completely lost the ability to walk. So in the end, she couldn't take her. Julian asked Alice if she could find the escape route. If she were to return to the forest, Alice's answer was full of holes. Julian quickly sensed something was off. Just as he was about to press further, Sam noticed his daughter's reluctance and ruthlessly made Julian leave. Alice made a small gesture that caught his attention. He felt it was familiar. Julian reviewed the footage from before Sophie's disappearance. He noticed that Sophie, under stress, made the same small gesture as Alice. Perhaps Alice was not the real Alice, but Sophie, who had been missing for years, just as he was at his wits' end. Some good news arrived. Alice had agreed to Julian's proposal to search for the place where they were being held captive. Before leaving, Gemma brought a yellow scarf. She deliberately said it was knitted by Alice and her teacher, but Alice corrected her, saying it was knitted by her and her classmates. The mother was puzzled by her own actions. She didn't know why she was testing her daughter. Under the dual protection of the military and police, Alice felt her way into the depths of the forest. Alice suddenly stopped in her tracks. Before her was an invisible trench. The girl instantly became frightened and anxious. The military immediately sent someone to investigate. Julian, to confirm his suspicions, found a way to approach Alice and talk to her. Love stories like this? Subscribe now and never miss the next one.